It is November 1st, and I am elated to say that this pile of mulch is gone, and we have mostly done this hillside. It's so bright I can't even see. Yeah, my father-in-law came and helped, and we don't have much to go. November 2nd, stacked about 70 logs, pulled them out from our woods, brought them over here to chop and save for next year. November 3rd, finally covered all of the patio furniture around our pool. November 4th, I didn't feel good and I sat on this couch all day and rested. November 5th, planted this hydrangea somebody gave me. Fingers crossed that it lives. November 6th, finished mulching the hillside. November 8th, being a mom, also still spreading mulch. November 9th, my husband chopped more firewood. November 10th, mulched some more. I got that whole area covered that I wanted to. And now I'm working on this trash pile, pulling all the wire off of these posts and rails, and I will mulch this spot when we're done. Okay, I only have a few posts left to pull the wire off of, but my back is hurting so bad. So I'm gonna call it a day. But it's clear that my goal for tomorrow is to get all the wire off of these and then mulch this spot. We're almost there. I have probably a day's worth of work on the mulch right here, and then we are free and clear to come back and set these beds and fill them up. I'm hoping that those three things will be done by this weekend. This is gone and covered, this gets spread somewhere, and that these beds at least get set, and then I can start filling them next week. November 11th, finished pulling all the wire off those posts, lined them all up on the wall, mulched it, and now we have 2 trellises up and we're working on this row, and we are almost done leveling these beds, and the hubby is out here helping. Alright, I was out here working on the feeder, and for the first time in about 2 years of owning these chickens and having them in this coop, I think we had something try to get in. And that doesn't make sense because this is, something had to be trying to get in because this pushes on this screen, it doesn't pull on it. So something pushed right there. I'll have to fix that. I don't see any rats or snakes or evidence of one. November 12th, my goats are out grazing. I've been working in the back. Let's see, that mound of mulch right there I have shoveled out, and now I'm scooping out some dirt from this mound that we have that has been mulched. There's some nice dirt in there. I'll tell you what, I'm getting real tired. Okay, I just dumped some of the more brown dirt on here, and then I took one of these buckets that was full of the bedding from our goat pen, and there's just worms everywhere, and I am so happy. Excuse the face and the hair, but Saturday, November 13th, I didn't get anything done on the homestead. I hosted a sleepover for our youth girls at our church, and there was a lot to do and get ready for, and I had no time that day to work on any kind of projects. And the 14th, the Sunday, was a crazy busy day. We were gone most of the day. Took care of our animals, but didn't get any projects done. Yesterday, the 15th, once again, got my head above water, homeschooled my kids, got a few things organized inside on the home front, but did not get to any projects. Today, the 16th, I don't know what we'll get done today. I was trying to see if I could add some bags of soil to a grocery pickup and at least try to get one of my raised beds fully soiled and plant my garlic. Got a little helper right there. I've got my seed garlic that I got from M.I. Gardner. This is a soft neck variety, and it is early Italian, I want to say. It doesn't have a tag on it, so I would really have to look at my email to remember. All I remember is that I wanted soft neck. I'm in zone 8, and they were sold out of a lot, so I got whatever was left. I have some luck, and I did buy some bags of dirt at our local retail store. I had someone come over today and sit with my kiddos, and I was able to run and get a couple of things. I'm gonna try planting it in this bed. This has 2 buckets full of this goat manure, and I think with the new soil that I got, this will be okay. And then I have some wheat straw bales to mulch on top of it. So we're gonna dump some dirt out and we're gonna get to planting.
Mommy, love it.
I love you too, Catherine. All right, so I planted the garlic and I got to about here. As you can see, like that's the midway point on the bed, but this stick is not entirely straight, but that is where it got me. And all of this is garlic. So that's all in and covered nicely, ready to be tucked in for the winter. Now I'm gonna water it in. So today I planted garlic. Woohoo! November 16th. While we're outside, let's do a quick loofah update. So since we mulched all the way up to this fence line, I knew these vines would die, and maybe it was time for them to die anyways. So the vines are dying, which is perfectly fine. Some of the smaller loofah have like these spots on them, but they're still yellowing. So I'm wondering how these guys will turn out. I think they'll be fine. They're just gonna be really small. Some that are still really, really green. This one right here is, I mean, there's like my little hand on this. This one's absolutely massive. And then I've got some decent sized ones all the way down. I mean, these aren't huge. These aren't like that first one, but they're all like great ideal size. Now I've got like 3 down here that are gargantuan. Like that one's huge. This one's huge. And this one is so huge. So these little ones I really should just like cut and go ahead and feed to like my chickens or something. But I think I'm gonna leave these on the vine as part of the experiment. But yeah, it's crazy because had we not mulched over here, we would have gotten even more. Because there we have more buds that would have given us more loofah. I was okay with it. This needed to happen. Mulching this hillside was a big goal. So this needed to happen. And I have lots of loofahs. November 16th, if nothing else, I split a small barrel full of kindling. It's November 17th, and I have come out to the goat pen to finally start shoveling out some of this lovely black dirt that I have been talking about. And I could not be more excited. That looks perfect. But wait, there's more! It's full of worms! Worms everywhere. And I also realized that it is very silly that I'm this excited about black dirt that is full of poo. But I really love tomatoes and my garden, and there's a really good reason for the enthusiasm. And it's not just that I love poop that much, but I see the big picture. There is still a good bit down by the goat pen, but that got us a really good start. And I think what I'm gonna do is, I know I said I was gonna mulch up some leaves and use them in my chicken coop, and I still want to do that, but I think I'm gonna have so much, especially because I do the deep litter method. So I want to say maybe through the course of a year, I might only go through 3 or 4 pine shavings for my hens, 3 or 4 bales. I mean, ew, my hand is so dirty, and I just ran that through my hair. But yeah, I think I'm going to mulch some dry leaves and mix them in here, and hopefully that will improve the looseness a little bit. And I know it'll dry a little bit sitting in these beds. I'm hoping that my husband can come help me, if not this afternoon, tomorrow, and set these 3, because really if those are set, I feel like I have the energy to do maybe just like 1 more load and put it in the other beds. So soon I'm gonna start working on that. But November 17th, I did something today, and I got a decent amount in these 2, and this is heavy stuff, so it's not like spreading mulch, which is tedious enough. This was heavy. This weighed a good bit. So I feel good, and we'll see where the next few days gets us. All right, I've got the blower. This is the task at hand. before. Harder to tell over the camera, but in person, this is a very large pile. It's probably like 10 feet wide and 3 feet tall. Clear this space. Here's another very large pile. All that space cleared right there. And now we're gonna mulch them. Yes? Are you cold? All right, so November 19th, I went over to someone's house who loaned me this chip shredder, and I learned how to use it, and I helped them with some yard work to get used to using it, and obviously as a thank you for allowing me to use it. Now, these big black bags, they made using mesh tarp, and then they cut it down the middle, cut it into, or sewed it into tubes, tied one in, and then this end bungee cords around the machine to catch the mulched up leaves. But in these two beds, in this one and that one, I dumped 4 of those big black bags. So there's 8 between these two beds, and then I dumped a load in the coop and a load in the run. I'm gonna call it quits for today. Hopefully my father-in-law or my husband can come help me set these soon so that I can shovel goat poop in there and then finish it off with these mulched up leaves. And then I'm going to work on saving more mulched up leaves for my hens as well while I am borrowing this equipment. But you can see I've mounted it up pretty tall over the edge, but it will condense down as much, I'm told by the person who loaned me this, to about 25%. So like if you put 12 inches of these leaves on top, you can expect 3 inches of dirt later. So I'm getting it up there as thick as I can, and there's goat poop under this. And I plan on doing the exact same thing over here, laying the goat poop down about halfway, and then this on top. I'm not tilling it in. This is gonna be more like no dig, so to speak. But yeah, I'm gonna let nature do its work and let the goat poop and the leaves break themselves down and harmoniously come together. And I think that by the time I'm ready to like plant carrots and cut flowers and onions and potatoes and all that kind of fun stuff in here, hopefully it will be well broken down. And if it's not, then it will the next year for sure. So we're gonna let these break down. I'm gonna do more work over there on those 3. And then we're just gonna keep chugging along. I keep saying, oh, I think I'm in a waiting stage. No, I'm really not. I'm quite busy and there's plenty for me to do. All right, November 21st was a Sunday, so I rested. The 22nd, I needed another day of rest. I didn't get anything done. I did some cleaning around the house, just nothing outside. There is the inside home front too, not just the outside home front. So I did some stuff that needed to be done inside. And then the next day, which was yesterday, even more cleaning, and we got our Christmas tree. But one thing I had not considered, we have been doing a real tree for the last several years. This is our first year with a wood burning stove. We've had a fireplace before, but I didn't even consider that the wood burning stove would probably dry our tree out. But today, hopefully, I will get some bulbs planted. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so I have cooking to do and cleaning. But regardless, I really want to get my bulbs in the ground. I would be super thankful if I got my bulbs in the ground. I came out here to plant my bulbs right there, and this hydrangea that I planted the other day is looking good. These little tips are alive. Let's get these planted. They're in. So what I did is right there in the middle, I have lilies. There's 8 of those bulbs. And then in circles around this, I have 50 tulip bulbs planted. And then towards the center around the lilies, let's see, what were these called? I have blue allium. And I put those towards the center with the lilies because they're taller. And then around the edges, near where the tulips are, I have Spanish bells. So now let's cover it. All right, they're covered, but that's not nearly as deep as I would like them to be. So I'm gonna try in the next few days to grab more soil and make sure I cover them in well. But I'm so excited to see how these turn out come spring. I think that's around 58 and okay, around like 108 bulbs that I planted. Super exciting. Okay, I just planted 35 ranunculus corms in here. I soaked them for 2 hours, changing the water every 30 minutes. And so yeah, there's 35 in here. And I think the package set out either only had 25 or 30. So thanks, Holland Bulb Farms. Those were the pastel peony. And this one, I might do the buttercup variety. This does not have holes on the bottom though, so I wonder if that would be a this grass doesn't want to come up. I wonder if that would be a problem for them. But this is my favorite little spot here, my pew, and I thought they would just look really beautiful in these containers. So I got the first round planted, and my lovely husband, as you've probably heard in the background, has been blowing more and more leaves. So by this weekend, we will have 3 more raised beds set, and I will start shoveling goat manure, and we just have so many leaves to mulch up. But I love it. That's a beautiful sight to me. Well, yesterday was Thanksgiving, so we just enjoyed the day, and today I'm rounding up all of the pumpkins from our property and feeding some to the goats, but it'll take me a few days to feed all of the pumpkins that we have to them. And we're gonna decorate for Christmas today. So nothing as far as the homestead and the garden goes, but I am making homemade turkey bone broth. We had 2 sides of the family that we hosted, one at noon and one in the evening. So I have 2 turkey bones, or carcasses, and my pressure cooker is going to be going all day today, sweet Rose, making bone broth. So that's a good thing. So it's December 2nd, and we never set my second set of raised beds. We made a lot of beef jerky. We had a friend get a deer and shared a lot of meat with us, so we made a lot of deer jerky, and I made a lot of bone broth from our Thanksgiving turkeys, which was awesome. People have been bringing by pumpkins for us to keep feeding the goats with. Gave the chickens some. Obviously, the goats enjoy it like a lot. But we lost Valentino, one of our goats, on the last day of November. He got listeria, and he got bad really quickly. One minute he was fine, and then the next I was like, what on earth is happening to him? It was kind of quick, and someone just had a baby. Who just had a baby? Ivy, did you have a baby? Hold on. Forget the pumpkin. Ivy! Oh my gosh. It was Ivy's baby who died too. Ivy! Ivy! Look, it's your baby, Ivy. Is this another little boy? Yes, it is. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. It was Ivy's baby that died. So this is I'm gonna cry. Well, the saddest update ended up becoming the happiest ending that there could have been. As I was saying, Valentino, he's only about 10 months old. He was the first kid born in our herd on our homestead. He was born on Valentine's Day, and he had a little heart on his nose, and he was precious, and he let all my kids pet him. He was a really good boy, but he got listeria, and he declined very, very quickly, and it was the hi bud, you have a new brother. It was the kindest thing for him. was to put him down, which was sad. But this is Ivy. That was Valentino's mom. Quite frankly, I didn't know she was pregnant. A lot of my goats have been looking a little wider, and I was like, maybe they're pregnant. But I mean, even Branch right here, that's a boy. He looks very wide, but it's because they're growing their undercoats for the winter, so they've all been looking fluffier or fatter, if you will. Her udder was not ballooned out or anything. I didn't see any change in her backside. This is her second kid, so maybe it just happened quicker, but this was the stall, the quarantine stall that Valentino was in. So ordinarily I would put mamas and their new babies in there, but I'm not gonna do that because when I saw that he was not well, I took him aside pretty quickly. And I'm not going to risk, obviously, contaminating, or not contaminating, but exposing mom and baby to listeria when I know he was in there the last like 3 to 5 hours of his life when he very much had it. So I'm just gonna clean out our regular stall over here, and I backed my dump trailer up, and I'm going to scoop it in 5-gallon buckets, and I'm gonna walk through here and dump it straight in the back of my trailer. So I'm gonna leave it in the back of my trailer, and hopefully we'll get those 3 raised beds set pretty soon. But this is such a happy ending. Obviously my kids were very sad about it, but hey, don't tell me that God isn't good, because that was hard for us. We did put him down ourselves, which just adds an extra layer of sorrow and grief to the whole thing. It's part of homesteading. And we had actually spoken not long ago about a plan if something were to happen to one of the livestock animals, what our plan was going to be on how we extinguish their life and what we do with their remains. Honestly, this plan looked a little different because Valentino had listeria. So some of the things we thought we would do, we didn't, because we did not want to risk any spread. But anyways, happy December, and what a way to end November. Yeah, feeling very grateful. Now to decide what to name him. I have no idea. I want something very meaningful though, because this is quite meaningful. We're all excited about the baby, aren't we, Catherine? Yeah, he's so sweet. Anyways, see you next month.